It's another discussion about the Generation 1 Honda Insight. And here I am driving along. I have had this car for about 5 weeks now. I had some thoughts that I thought only Generation 1 Honda Insight owners can relate to these things. And I've never thought these thoughts I'm about to share with you. And I've probably had 25 different cars in my life. And here I am driving around town thinking these things. It all has to do with this little graphic right here that has become an obsession somehow in my life. So if you own this car or you're thinking about getting it, getting one of these, this might be humorous or enlightening, or maybe just encouraging that you're not the only crazy person. So yeah, this car has the wrong tires. I do not have the Bridgestone RE92s, so I'm probably getting 5 mpg less than I could. It also does not have the correct spark plugs, which are the indexed Honda spark plugs. It just has some generic ones that the last owner put in. So I'm probably not getting as good mileage as I can. And I actually have both those parts on the way for the car. But even with that, I'm getting 68 miles per gallon around town in this car, which is phenomenal. The first full tank I did, I got 55 mpgs. That was with air conditioning on and me just pretty much driving it like a normal car, going wide open throttle. But with this second tank, I just decided I'm going to kind of see what this thing will do, because I found myself becoming slightly obsessed with MPG. So that's what I want to talk about here. This car has two personalities. It has the fun, spirited, it's peppy. It has that personality. Now you notice my obsession starting. But then it also has this personality where if you try, you can get the most gas mileage out of this possible. And many people have compared it to sort of like, it's like a video game, and it kind of is. And so, there's really two different ways to drive this car. And what I'm doing right now in this tank, I've driven 55 miles, almost all city type driving, just a lot of stop and go. A few stretches of country roads, but not much. And I'm getting 68.1 miles per gallon so far over that. So I'm driving it that second way of trying to get MPGs. And here's what that involves. These are the kind of behaviors I've found myself doing in the last 55 miles as I've done this. So you find yourself taking curves too fast, because you don't want to lose momentum. Because if you lose momentum, then you have to push the gas pedal to get it back. And if you do that, you lose gas mileage. So you find yourself taking curves probably too fast, faster than you should safely. I'm going to roll this window up. Hopefully there's not too much wind noise, but we'll go ahead and roll that up a little bit. You find yourself scanning every light ahead in an attempt to kind of know, am I going to have to slow down? Can I coast? Am I going to have to push the gas if that light turns red? You find yourself running the red lights. I've ran more red lights in owning this car in the last 5 weeks than probably the last 5 years of my life. Why would you run a red light? Well, the reason is because if you stop when the light's yellow, and you should stop, you will have to re-accelerate. So you lose your momentum once again, and you lose gas mileage because you have to push gas. So just run the light. I don't mean run a dark red light, it's been red, but if it's questionable before I'd stop, I just find myself rolling right through now. Probably not a good thing. I find myself, taking, just doing unsafe things. I find myself on the interstate going 50, 55 miles an hour, which can be unsafe if you're in a lot of traffic. And just in general, just driving around town, I find myself driving probably too slow, More drivers have sped ahead of me when they were stuck behind me than in a long time. So I find myself inconveniencing other drivers in an effort to save gas mileage. These are just the kind of behaviors that you find yourself. I find myself planning to, I leave extra time to get places because I know I'm going to be driving slow, or perhaps taking a route that doesn't have as much traffic, so I don't have to stop and go as much. Can you relate? It's hot right now here in Georgia. It's probably 91. I have the air off. I've had the air off for all 57 miles of that. So I find myself driving around sweating because I don't want to turn the air on. Why? Well, it would tax the engine and I would lose gas mileage. I find myself getting anxious. I'm going up a hill right now. I'm slightly anxious because I know right now that my MPG is under 50 there. So it's therefore lowering my average. That 68.8 is about to drop. And then conversely, I find myself excited. So right now, I am about to go on a long downhill strip. And I'm inside my heart, there are probably endorphins or whatever the word is for that. I'm getting excited that I'm going down this hill because, as you see, I don't know if you can see with the sun, but I'm in Leanburn right now, and we are getting 150 plus miles per gallon. So you find yourself excited to do something like go down a hill. These are the behaviors. I find myself coasting sometimes to a red light. Like if I see a red light coming up, rather than normally slowing down, I put myself in neutral, take my foot off the clutch, coast, because at 17, I think it's 17 miles an hour. I could be wrong. But at some point, the auto stop function engages and the engine turns off. So I find myself just coasting to a lot of lights in neutral with the car engine turning itself off. Why? To increase gas mileage. I find myself upset when someone cuts in front of me. Like, I don't normally get that way. I'm a pretty calm, cool person. But if someone cuts in front of me or cuts me off, I find myself getting upset. Why? Because then I have to slow down, which means I have to push the gas button once again to get good gas mileage. So I find myself getting angry at other drivers when I probably should not be, inordinately angry. I find myself, as I get close to my destination, right now I'm about 2 or 3 miles away from home, and I'm thinking as I approach my destination, if I just do this thing, if I coast down this hill, or if I go 45 here instead of 50, then maybe I can get that up to, the next number. Maybe I can get that up to 70 miles per gallon. If I just do this or that, I'm planning ahead. My point, guys, is you're constantly thinking, you are fully engaged while driving this car if you're trying to do it for MPGs. You don't care about anything else. You're fully engaged thinking, what is the thing I need to do to get the very, very, very best MPGs? And so those are some thoughts in driving a Honda Insight Generation 1. If you become the person who, instead of getting the 50 to 55 MPGs you can get by driving it normal and enjoying it, you find yourself just living for lean burn mode. And I'm in third gear, not fourth. See, there we were. You find yourself living for lean burn mode and just trying to get every MPG out of it. And as you see, I'm up to 69 now for this little discussion I've had. I think I'll be at 70 because by the time I get home, which is about 1.5 miles, because it's mostly downhill. I'm not going to bore you with that in this video because I'm getting kind of long here, but I think I've said everything I need to say. I'll put down in the description when I upload this what my ending MPG ended up being for this little drive. Hey, I hope you can relate, and maybe you've enjoyed hearing this. If you're a Generation 1 Insight owner, you can probably relate to all these things. It's just a strange obsession that comes over you that I've found myself just realizing, wow, I'm now one of those people. Hey, thanks for watching. Leave me comments or questions, and another video coming up. I've got a bunch of new parts I'm going to be installing soon, so be looking for that. All right, bless you, peace.